Hey there, and welcome to this tutorial for the Star Spangled Banner, the National Anthem of the United States of America. So, before we begin, I always like to talking about the ukuleles that I'm using. This is my Ukedelic by Kala Stars and Stripes Soprano, which is fitting for this recording. And then my baritone is my one baritone, my mainland cedar and rosewood baritone by mainland. Let's take a look at the chords you're going to need in the song. First, for GCEA ukulele, soprano, concert, or tenor. And the song here is in the key of C. So we'll be working with chords that generally are in the key of C. The first chord you'll need is the C chord. Third finger, first string, third fret, C chord. The second chord you'll need is the E minor chord. First finger goes on the first string, second fret. Second finger goes on the second string, third fret, and third finger goes on the third string, fourth fret. That's the E minor chord. The next chord you'll need is the A minor chord. The second finger will reach all the way across, fourth string, second fret. That's your A minor chord. The next chord you'll need is the E7 chord. The first finger will go on the fourth string, first fret. Second finger will go on the third string, second fret. Third finger will go on the first string, second fret. That's your E7. The next chord you're going to need is called the Hawaiian D7, although it's just marked D7 in this particular arrangement. D7, Hawaiian D7 does not have a D in it. This is how you play it. First finger goes on the fourth string, second fret. Second finger goes on the second string, second fret, with no other strings pressed down. The next chord you'll need is the G chord. The first finger will go on the third string, second fret, second finger on the first string, second fret, and third finger on the second string, third fret, making a V shape. That's your G chord. You'll also want to use the next chord, the G7 chord. First finger goes on the second string, first fret, second finger goes on the third string, second fret, and third finger goes on the first string, second fret. That's your G7 chord. The next chord you'll need is the F chord. First finger will go on the second string, first fret. Second finger on the fourth string, second fret. That's your F chord. The next chord you'll need is the A7 chord. First finger goes on the third string, first fret, A7. The last chord you'll need is the A flat diminished 7 chord. It's only used once in the song, so if you don't get it while you're playing it, that's okay. But here's how you do it, and it's played with 4 fingers. It's the hardest chord in the entire song. First finger goes on the fourth string, first fret. Second finger goes on the second string, first fret. So they're across from each other, kind of with a gap in between. Third finger goes on the third string, second fret, and fourth finger goes on the first string, second fret. So you've got all 4 strings covered with a different finger. That's your A flat diminished 7 chord. Let's take a look at the chords you'll need on baritone ukulele. I put the baritone version in the key of A, so let's take a look at it. First chord you'll need is the A chord. So first finger goes on the fourth string, second fret, second finger on the third string, second fret, third finger on the second string, second fret. That's your A chord. Your next chord is the C sharp minor chord. First finger will go on the third string, first fret, second finger will go on the fourth string, second fret, third finger will go on the second string, second fret. That's your C sharp minor chord. The next chord you'll need is the F sharp minor chord. You'll make a bar chord covering all 4 strings on the second fret, and then add generally the third finger on the fourth string, fourth fret, 2 down from the bar. That's your F sharp minor chord. The next chord is going to require all 4 fingers. It's the C sharp 7 chord. The first finger will go on the second string, second fret. The second finger will go on the fourth string, third fret. The third finger will go on the third string, fourth fret. And your fourth finger will go on the first string, fourth fret, making the C sharp 7 chord. The next chord you're going to need is the B7 chord. The first finger will go on the fourth string, first fret. Second finger on the third string, second fret. And third finger on the first string, second fret. That's your B7 chord. The next chord is the E chord. the first finger will go on the third string first fret, second finger on the fourth string second fret. That's your E chord. The next chord is the E7 chord. It's simply one finger, the first finger on the third string first fret. The next chord is the D chord. The first finger will go on the third string second fret, second finger on the first string second fret, and third finger on the second string third fret, making a V shape. That's your D chord. The next chord you're going to need is the F♯7 chord. You're going to bar all four strings on the second fret, and then with your second finger play the third string third fret, or one fret underneath the bar. That's your F♯7 chord. The last chord you're going to need is the F♯7 chord. The first finger will go on the third string first fret, and the second finger will go on the first string first fret. That's your F♯7 chord. As it comes to strumming, I'm going to be talking on GCEA ukulele for the rest of this video. The same concepts apply in baritone, but for ease of communication, I'm just going to stick with GCEA ukulele. And before I go any further, I have put on my blog, ukestuff.info. There'll be a link in the description below to a version of this song written out for GCEA ukulele in the key of C. And if you're interested, that's there. Now, a little bit about the key. We should talk about that too before we talk about strumming. For me, many keys are way too low. I'm a tenor, and therefore when some songs are in A, or the version's even in A flat, it gets way too low for me. So singing this in the key of C doesn't bother me, and that works for me pretty well. It may be too high for you, and in that case, just use it as purely a play along. But if you want to perform with the music, it's available for you from ukestuff.info, and you can go there and download it for free. So let's take a look at the song. The Star Spangled Banner is really a tough song to sing. A lot of people sing it and they don't sing it right. It's really tough. You hear people that change keys in the middle of it. They can't hold pitch, all these things. It's not an easy song. And there was a movement in the United States a few years ago to try to replace the Star Spangled Banner as a national anthem with America the Beautiful because it's easier to sing. And it also talks about the country actually as a whole versus watching the protection of a fort in battle. So with that in mind, it's a tough song. So it may be best to simplify the song and just come back to block chords. Now at the very beginning, the video doesn't show it because it just makes it easier. You could start with a G7 chord, oh say, or you could play those two notes. It's the second string third fret G, then second string open E, and then C chord. And it's going to sound like this. I'll do that way. 1, 2. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? And that way you could just follow along chord by chord without having to stress out about doing anything else crazy with the strumming. You could also strum on every beat. That would also work. Let's try that. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? And the last thing you could do is you could try a plucking pattern. And I talk about this all the time. I use one of ukulele Mike Lynch's techniques quite frequently, which is you only use 3 fingers, and what you do is you play a note and then you pinch the other ones. So I do this in kind of a different way, which is I pluck the 4th string, 2nd string, and 1st string with thumb, 1st and 2nd all at the same time. Oh, say, can you see? So what I'm doing is I'm plucking all 4, then 3, 2, 4, 1, as much as I can on each chord. I'll see if I can do this a little bit because I haven't practiced it, but you can get the idea. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight note stripes. So every time you hit a chord, I pluck all 3 of those strings, and then I start a plucking pattern, and I never get very far because the next chord is coming along. So it requires a little bit of practice, along with being able to sing the song, to be able to play it. And the only other really tricky spot is at the very end. And I don't know if I'd write it out this way normally, but I was trying to match the accompaniment. So as you listen to the Navy Band, you get that little last part. And again, I'm not really warmed up, so we'll see if this works. Land of the free. And then you get, and the home. And in the recording, they very clearly hit that diminished 7 chord. So it's thrown in there. If you don't want to play that A flat diminished chord, just ignore it. Both in the video and on the paper, you can, use whiteout or whatever. If you're using digital, you can just go in there and digitally white it out. So you don't need it. And the home of the brave. You can play it without that A flat diminished 7. So thanks for watching the video. Again, a happy July 4th to you if you're a citizen of the United States of America. And thanks for watching the video. We'll catch you next time.